want to talk about is mental health and Christianity. Should Christians go and get mental counseling, mental health, or should they just pray and believe that God will heal whatever issue they're dealing with? Ever since I started my channel, this channel, and all my other social media, I have been very open and honest about dealing with my own personal mental health, as far as being dealing with anxiety and depression and some of the other things that I went through during my childhood that made me have anxiety and what made me feel depressed. Do I feel that because I did have sought out therapy to get help? Do I feel that it made me feel like I'm less of a Christian? Do I feel like my faith is lessened before because I did reach out to someone else for help? My foundation has always been God, and I believe that for everyone. If you say you are a Christian, you should stand on biblical principle as far as what's in the Bible. You should also stand on having God as your foundation when it comes to everything. I put God first in my life. Do that mean that I should not go get help when I need it? No. Just like anything else, if I wear glasses, I couldn't see, so I went and got help by going to an eye doctor. Do that mean I don't have faith in God? Do that mean I don't pray to God? Heal my eyes. Jesus was going around healing blind people. So therefore, should I not seek help because of my eyesight wasn't, good and I needed help seeing? I don't understand why when it comes to mental health, a lot of Christians feel like, no, just pray to God. If you go outside and seek help, you don't believe in God. Or in the Black community, they feel like it's a weakness if you are dealing with mental issues and you go out and you get help for those mental issues. I 100% don't agree with that. And I feel that your faith should always come first, but you don't know everything and you can't solve all your problems. God put an army out there, not just to fight demons, but an army out there to help one another grow in areas that they don't have expertise in and areas that they need help in. First thing we need to understand, there's a difference between a psychiatrist and a psychologist. A psychiatrist is a person that actually is a doctor that can prescribe medication. I'm not talking about going and get medication. I'm not talking about that when I talk about myself, or if I say other people who are dealing with issues like anxiety, depression, and some other issues they may be dealing with, to go get counseling, to go speak to a psychologist. That's what I'm saying. A person that they are doctors, they're trained to listen to you, to see what your issue is, and help you deal with those issues, to help you move forward in your life. Because a lot of times when you're dealing with anxiety and depression, you're stuck. You don't know how to get around it. You don't know how to move forward. And it can be a stumbling block in your life, and how you're feeling can affect other people around you. If you have kids, it can be a problem when it comes to your kids. If you're in a relationship, it can become a problem then. Going to see a counselor or a psychologist, which is to say, I use those interchangeable. They're there to help you deal with the mental blockage that you're having. It was a show that used to come on called Super Nanny. And it was these parents who had issues dealing with their kids and they didn't know how to deal with their kids. And so the super nanny would come in, she will kind of evaluate the situation. She would look at the kids' behavior as well as the parents' behavior, and then she would deal with the issue accordingly.
Now time to address Daniel's ADHD. And as soon as Dad came home from work, he decided to put Daniel in a timeout. And I got the chance I needed.
So stop for a minute, what happened? The pair of you are arguing. Come over here, Daniel, because both of them are welling away like foghorns here. You me here. What went on? No shouting. Stay calm. Nobody can understand you if you're shouting, okay? What happened?
I was building something. She was building something, and then I had a little block, and she took it from me. She wouldn't give
And that's what's important, I feel, here for Daniel, to feel like he's being heard, because that leads to so much frustration. He becomes really impulsive with the rest of his siblings, and then he lashes out, and he's met with discipline that's very aggressive.
Give each other a hug then and make up then, okay?
And when he is spoken to correctly and respectfully and in a manner that doesn't threaten any kind of hostility with him, he responds really, really well.
Stop. Before you're reactive to something, just stop and be responsible and go, right, I need to hear both sides. And be calm about it so that you take all the anger out of the situation because you're there purely just to listen.
The way we approach Daniel's ADHD, I don't think we're doing the right thing. I think Joe's correct in what she was telling
The
us.
next move really is to deal with Hayden being attached to mum's hip. I mean, how can you get anything done when you've got this going on? And also, it's a safety issue. So what I want to do is to introduce the off-the-hip technique with mum.
Put her down, come down to her height, and then say to her, Mummy's going to be busy cooking. You play with some of your toys. Okay, Hayden, listen to Mummy. Listen to me. Listen to Mummy.
Hayden bawled her eyes out. You know, she wasn't happy with the idea that she couldn't sit on mum's hips.
Hayden, I'm going to make Papa for you. I have to make dinner.
It was hard seeing my baby cry.
It's okay. Look, Mommy's right over here.
That's why she was always on my hip. I don't want to hear my baby cry.
Mommy can't carry you. I have to make dinner, okay?
It was breaking my heart, and I didn't want to look at her face because if I saw her tears coming down, that was going to bring my tears coming down.
Oh my gosh. So, Mum, so you're cooking here, and that oven may be on. So move away from the oven, darling.
This is hot. This is very hot. We're going to walk over here this way.
Just move it to the side.
It's hot. We have to stay right here.
Okay, lovely.
If you just put your child down for one moment, the child's not going to feel like you don't love him anymore. And once mum understood that, she continued, and Hayden just gave up after a while.
Yeah, you've got lots of hands.
I feel great about being able to have Hayden off my hip. I get freedom. I get my own little space. I get a healthier back. I get to be able to accomplish something a lot faster than it was being done before.
You did a fabulous job with off the hip.
I know.
So keep going with it.
Okay.
She did that, and then it hurt really bad.
Right. So, did you jump on his back? You did. Thank you for being honest with me. Okay. Did you throw the boot? All right. So, thank you for being honest, Brittany and Ralph. Over to you.
You know not to be jumping on anybody's back, and you know you don't throw nothing in the house, especially at anybody.
So, I feel that there are no consequences for each of you because I think you're living with that now. You got the bad back and you got the boot. If you hurt my back and I said you hurt my back, what would you say to me? Can you find that in yourself to do that?
Sorry.
I know that your brother and sister that you go and fight and squabble, but at the end of the day, you've got to be a bit kinder to one another, otherwise you're just going to hurt each other. You know what I'm saying? Go on, skedaddle, get out of here. Skedaddle. The opportunity to show them fairness from a parent is what's important, because I do want them to be honest. You need eye contact and a firm tone. Your kids need to respect your authority, but not be fearful of you. In this house, when their parents are being firm but fair with them, it works better than corporal punishment. And kids do need their parents to step up, to take charge in the right way.
And as you can see in those two videos, it's not just the kids' issue, it's also the parents' issue, how the parents can affect the kids. A lot of us have grown up in environments that are toxic. A lot of us grew up in environments that are not, they're dysfunctional. So if you have dysfunctional parents, you're going to grow up to be a dysfunctional child who's going to raise dysfunctional kids. So it's going to be a cycle that continues. At some point, if there's no one, because I feel behavior starts in the house. The parents should teach the kids how to behave so when they do go out in the world, they know how to deal with issues. They know how to deal with situations. When they're under stress, when they're under pressure, they know how to handle it and they're not acting out. You see a lot of adults, when they get mad, they start yelling, they start screaming, or they get on the internet, and if they see something they don't like, they automatically start commenting something negative because they haven't learned how to deal with their emotions. So they just let it out on the world, and they feel like because I'm behind the screen, I'm safe, I can do that, and not thinking about how their words can affect other people. So if you're not learning that in the household, you become an adult, how else are you going to learn that? If you're going to church and your pastor, your preacher is not helping you deal with that, where are you going to go deal with that from? You have to go get help from someone. And like I said, I'm not pushing medication on people. If you're seeking for medication, you have to actually seek out a doctor that can write prescription. A counselor, if you're going to a counselor whether you're doing the counseling over the phone, whether you're doing it online over the internet where you're actually looking at the person, or if you're actually going into the office, if you're going to a counselor, a person that's going to help you deal with your emotion, get your emotions under control, and how to move forward, so when you find yourself in other situations, you know how to react, you know how to respond to them. So just think of it this way: if you had a child, or if you yourself was going to school and you came across a subject that you could not grasp, you try, you're just not understanding it, you're not getting it, what are you going to do? If it's available to you, you're going to go get a tutor, someone that's going to help you learn this subject so you can move forward and grow from it. You're not going to stay stuck. If you have an opportunity to get around it and learn and move forward, that's what you're going to do. You're not going to stay stuck and say, well, I just don't know it, so I guess I just don't know it. Or my child, they're not getting it, so they don't need to know that. They don't need to learn that. No, you're going to do what you can to get them a tutor to learn that subject. If they're failing that math, or if they're failing that reading, you're going to want to help them. But when it comes to your mental health, a lot of people don't see it that way. It's not about getting medication. It's about having someone who know more than you about a subject, know more than you about maneuvering through situations and how to move forward and get better at controlling your behavior, get better at controlling your emotions, learning how to not allow your emotions to rule or control you. So when you're seeking help for that, it's fine. It's not a problem. And I don't understand why, when it comes to Christians or Black community, they see that as a problem. If a person had an anger issue and they, was very violent, and they say, I'm going to anger management, everyone will be okay with that. But if that same person say, hey, I'm going to counseling, for mental, I'm mentally stressed, I want to deal with this, so I'm going to go see someone who can help me, they look down on that, or they want to call them crazy, or they want to put a negative stigmatism on that. It's something that you learn and grow from and move forward from. It isn't something that control you unless you allow it to control you. It isn't something that you're getting medication from unless you're personally seeking out medication. Your treatment is just that, your treatment. Do I want to learn how to deal with my emotions so my emotions don't control me and I can move forward from that? And I want to go over some things with you that can kind of help you. If you're starting to feel anxiety, you're starting to feel anxious about a situation, and you want to also journal this, you want to write it down. So if you're feeling anxious about a situation, write down that situation. What about that situation is making you feel anxious? What do you believe is going to happen in that situation? Because a lot of times when you're feeling anxious, you're looking to the future. You're projecting into the future what you think going to happen. If I was invited to a party, what I think is going to happen at that party, or if I have a meeting next week, what is going to happen to that meeting? What is making me feel anxious about that meeting? So you want to write that down. What you're thinking in your mind is going to happen or can happen if you end up going to that particular place or that meeting or whatever the situation may be that's causing you to have that anxiety. And then the next thing you want to do is kind of look at what can you control about that situation. If you feel that something negative is going to happen, can you control that negative situation? If it could be something positive that comes from there. You might be thinking something negative is going to happen, but it might actually end up being a positive situation. So because it's something in the future, because it's something you really don't know how the situation is going to turn out, that's something that you cannot control, and that's something that you need to recognize. And then also that's when your belief in God comes in, because regardless how the situation goes, regardless if the situation is good or bad, you know that's something that you can't control, but your faith in God would have you understanding that no matter how the situation turn out, I'm going to be okay. And if you're journaling this, now you can look back on times where you was anxious about a situation, not sure how the situation was going to turn out, but God was there with you. God helped you get through it. It didn't turn out as bad as you thought it was going to turn out. It may have turned out better than you thought it was going to turn out, but regardless of how it turned out, God is with you. You can't control everything, and that's when your faith in God comes in, because you know He's going to have you. You know He has your back, and He's going to always be there with you to help you get through and maneuver through different situations. And that will also help you with your anxiety. Drink water, because your body needs water. You need to stay hydrated, because sometimes when you're dealing with how you feel emotionally, it can be a reflection of the things you're putting into your body. So you want to make sure you're drinking enough water so you can be hydrated. Water should be the last thing you drink before you go to bed, and the first thing you drink when you wake up in the morning. Then you also want to make sure you're eating healthy, because like I said, if you're putting the wrong food into your body is not going to get the nutrients it needs in order to deal with maintaining, your well-being. You're not going to be able to get enough vitamins and minerals going to your brain the way you need it to do in order for your brain to function. If you're eating a lot of processed food, if you're eating a lot of sugar, those things are bad for you overall, for your overall health, as well as for your brain health, and also your gut health, because your gut and your brain they work together. So sugar, processed food is not good for your gut health, and it's not good for your brain health. And you want to also get exercise. You want to move your body. Our bodies was not designed to be sedentary. Our bodies was designed to move around, to get out, to breathe fresh air, to get sunlight, to get vitamin D. So the more you sit, the more you're sedentary, your body is not, the fluids in your body is not moving around. They're not moving around the way they should. So you want to have a holistic outlook when it comes to your mental health, as well as your physical health and your emotional. The way you choose to live your life, as far as what you're surrounding yourself with, the people that's in your life, what you're looking at when you're watching TV, what you're looking at when you're on your computer, that can affect you emotionally as well. That can cause depression, that can cause anxiety, that can put you in a mindset that you're not advancing like other people are. You're not where you should be or want to be in life. So you need to kind of look at everything as one. You're one whole body. So you have to work on yourself on a mental level, physical level, and emotional and spiritual level. So it's not leaving God out when you're seeking counseling. All you're doing is building a strong foundation with God at the base. God is your foundation, and everything else you're building on. So just like you would if you have trouble managing money and you went out to seek someone to help you with your finances, no one would look at you wrong for that and say that's wrong. Pray about your money. It speaks about it in the Bible, be a good steward. If you're not taught to be a good steward, how can you know how to be a good steward? So you might need to go to someone who's going to help you be a good steward when it comes to your money. If you wasn't taught discipline, if you wasn't taught how to manage your emotion, going out, getting someone to help you with that, it shouldn't be a problem either. All you're doing is building a community that you may have not grown up with. You don't have that in your life. You don't have family members as your community. So you're building community in that way, and you're getting people that's truly going to help you get to where you want to be in life, get to being a solid person, get to being a productive person, get to being the type of person that really can go out there and help other people when it comes to the kingdom of God. So you're using God as your foundation, you're using the Bible as your foundation, and you're just building upon that. 1 Corinthians 6:19 through 22. Oh, do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have from God, and that you are not your own? For you have been bought with a price, therefore glorify God in your body. So you want to do whatever you can to be as healthy as you can mentally, as healthy as you can physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, so you can be an asset to the kingdom of God.